the parent company of Facebook. Employees reveal staff are not allowed to have open discussions about the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. That software engineer who revealed this, writing on LinkedIn, and quote, "We are not allowed to discuss it on our internal workplace platform." Moderators swiftly remove posts or comments mentioning abortion. The respectful communications policy that was put in place explicitly disallows it. So here to react, Strive Asset Management co-founder and executive Vivek Ramaswamy. You know, the funny thing is, Vivek, I don't think I would have a problem with this, that a company says, hey, let's not discuss this on our internal message boards. I would say that from my perspective, not because you're endorsing one position or another, but this is where we do business. We don't need to sort, political and social issues out on our internal message board. But my suspicion is, Vivek, it probably is more about a position than it is business.
So look, if people are consistent about keeping politics out of the workplace, right. I'm a fan of that, Will.
Yeah.
That would have fit the bill really well if COO Sheryl Sandberg had not on the same day made a one-sided statement effectively on behalf of the company on Facebook's own platform about this heated political issue. And moving beyond Facebook, we're seeing this happening at companies across the country. And my view is clear. There are heated political questions that citizens are divided on and should work out through the political process. Companies need to stay out of it. And I think Facebook's case was only particularly ironic because the top brass was weighing in while they were telling their everyday employees not to. But it's not a problem that's unique to Facebook or even big tech. We are starting to see this at companies across the country. And my number one piece of advice to those companies is leave politics to politics so you can focus on making products for people who need them rather than tilting the scales on those political questions.
Perfectly put. If the CEO can voice this opinion, then why can't the employees? It isn't simply we're keeping politics out of business. By the way, we reached out to Meta for a statement we have not heard back. I want to ask you about this. An increasing number of companies, Vivek, are offering for their employees to travel from state to state if they're in a state that's going to outlaw abortion. And it's a huge list, Vivek, and they will reimburse their employees for this travel. You can see on your screen there for viewers all of the companies that have essentially said we'll pay for employees to access abortion. You know, there's a lot of things, Vivek, where we say, look, this is new, this is unprecedented, when actually it's happened in the past in American history. But I don't think corporations have ever, in American history, been as openly political.
I think that's absolutely right. I think it's bad for our democracy because we require these apolitical spaces in the private sector to bring us together, whether or not we're red or blue or black or white in these divided times. And once the private sector becomes politicized, I think that actually causes us to lose the solidarity we need in a divided polity. Now, let's take the argument these companies make, Will. The best version of this argument is to say that, no, we need this to recruit the best talent. And this is really just about actually improving the bottom line over the long run. That's what they say. I think it's a sham argument, and I think it's important we see through it because in reality, you could say that could states have said that you could get medical marijuana in certain states and not others, and that had to be part of a health care benefit. You could have said that. It wouldn't have been any more true there than it is here. It's really just corporate virtue signaling. And at the end of the day, I think that that's what's driving the behavior more than any concern about the bottom line. And the last point I'll make is there is no free lunch, right? If your employee benefits are one whole, if you redistribute that to certain employees over others, other employees are left holding the bag, and if not, shareholders are left holding the bag. So I think that's the real problem.
I think it's unique historically, by the way, and I don't know the veracity of this, but Thomas Chatterton Williams, who's a writer actually out of Europe, said it's also unique globally. Like, corporations in Europe don't take these openly political stances in every issue in their country. This is something that American corporations are just doing more and more and more. Vivek Ramaswamy, always great to talk to you.